spending 6 minutes. We're trying to get that connection right so that our guests will be heard loud and clear, and so that we can drive the conversation in the direction it should go. What is the conversation about? Well, every Monday at this time, we bring you conversations around power solutions. In fact, that's what this segment of this time on radio is called, Power Solutions. And our good friends at All On, and indeed their partners, so make sure that this is a reality. Shout out to Nigeria Info, shout out to All On, shout out to every team member who is working in the background to ensure that renewable energy is a major thing on the continent right here, specifically in Nigeria. Well, usually you would have me and Weber on the other side, and then Weber will start by asking me some questions, and then we go back and forth, and then we start the show. Today, Weber decides to bring another beautiful human being. Let me put it that way. Her name is Adobe. She's a delight to listen to, I must say that. How are you doing? Good to have you join the show today. For the first time we're doing this together, right?
I'm feeling this. This is actually really darn cool. I'm feeling this. Thank you for the compliment. So today I'm Weber.
Yeah, you're Weber today.
In female version. I'm representing my Oga today.
Okay. But so Weber in female version. Adobe is her name. Absolutely. Good. Let's get into the conversation. We have another interesting guest joining us today, and he's one of those key players in the renewable energy space. You want to tell us a bit about him?
Okay, so his name is Ayodeji O'deji, and he is the CEO of Protergia Energy, which is a world-class provider of sustainable energy infrastructure and services. So they're independent power providers. They provide clean power solutions to energy customers, to residential estates, businesses, and industries.
That's right, and that's is just getting my interest more and more and more. But Lagos, for your understanding and for your contribution and information, our focus today, the conversation is themed Energizing with the Future in Mind. Energizing with the Future in Mind. So Deji, like you heard from Adobe, is our guest. Let's have him on now. Hi Deji, how are you doing this morning?
Hi Adobe and Teke, how are you? Nice to join you this morning.
Fantastic. Beautiful to have you. You see, I'm going to take it off. They say ladies first, but I'll say ladies first after men on this occasion. That's not to say in all. Okay. Let me be a gentleman.
That's not how we play it all on. But I'll let you off on this one. Go ahead.
All right. She gave me the permission to do it. All right. Don't mind me. I'm just pulling your legs, actually. Let's go back a bit. Give us a bit of your background and professional journey. I know that Adobe did a bit of comments about who you are and what your company is about, but tell us what's your background and professional journey like?
Okay, thank you very much. So DJ as an individual, separate from Protergia, my background is in my first degree is in geology, and then after my undergraduate studies, my first startup is in IT, and it's that IT company through multiple services that eventually about 7 years ago dabbled into energy. So I kind of fancy myself as a serial entrepreneur. But because I have interest in agriculture and in ICT and then now in energy, but somehow energy and clean tech, clean energy, maybe because of how pivotal it is to the progress of Nigeria and Nigerian economy, has held me bound for the longest time. My interest is sustained daily. I can tell you for free that I was still working at my desk on different projects that were involved with till early hours of this morning, about 3-4 a.m. And I enjoyed doing it. So it's a passion because I believe if we solve that energy problem in Nigeria, then we're ready to rock and roll, if I'm allowed to say that.
Right. Fantastic.
So Deji, I know that Protergia was not a light bulb moment for you. As you've said, you've dabbled in IT previously, and what a journey that's been. But what informed your decision to stay within a particular market segment, commercial and industrial?
Okay, I think of course, when Protergia started, there was all the intelligence in terms of business planning, research, and all of that was done, giving us a clear idea of where the market is. And for where we were, if you think back 6-7 years ago, when we were starting out, the cost of energy, disco tariff, that's when I say disco, that's a legacy distribution company. Disco tariff was not cost reflective, so the price of energy was being subsidized. Now, the companies or organizations that could pay premium value for electricity were not getting enough electricity. And the people, again, across the demography, let's say the bottom of the ladder socially, economically to mid whatever, they were not getting the electricity they were getting. There's significant complaint that they were not able to pay for, because many of them were bypassing meters and stuff. So it stands to reason that if we can provide power to businesses, organizations, and commercial people, one, because it is the bane of production. I mean, it's the basis for production for them. If they're able to get enough power, they're going to produce more. If they're able to get cleaner power, it's going to save our environment. And then if they're able to get their reliable power at cost-effective rate, it means that eventually that value will be translated across the demographic. So for us, it was, let's solve the problem for those who can pay the premium. The same electron that is going to residential houses and those who are not able to pay is what is going to businesses. So if you can make the most money, then government can actually provide social energy to the bottom rung of the ladder. So for us, staying within that C&I space was checking two major boxes. It was both a social intervention and also providing power to those that needed the most at the critical time they needed. So that was one of the critical things that informed our placing priority on the commercial and industrial clients, or large power users, as we choose to call them.
Oh, great. Interesting to know. Now, in 2015, solar was like a myth, with many misconceptions about its potential and all the questions that came with it. You had questions like, can solar really give me power the way, normal power is? People just had this mindset of solar being less energy than what you can get from other sources. Now, starting a company around this time would have been tough, if you ask me. How did you deal with this? And what are the view about the level of awareness 6 years later? Looking at the journey 6 years ago to now, how would you answer that?
Okay, thank you. It's interesting you asked that question. Very spot on. 2015, 2014, people would tell you, oh yeah, we heard it works in the US, it works in Europe, but no, not in Nigeria. That's right. And for us, it was important that we break that myth. And not only that, we also realized that a few people who had dabbled into it before then, they were largely disappointed. And a number of things were responsible for the substandard equipment and all of that. So when we started out, one of the things we set out to do in the CNI was to show, one, that this can power large organizations. So our market approach was to work with what we call project development and maybe power purchase agreement. So we're looking for investment and investors who will back our entry into this place, such that we can take the risk and install for organizations as for lack of a better word, proof of concept, to say, listen, don't pay me anything upfront. Keep your money. All I need you to do is sign an agreement with us that if we generate this power and we feed it into your organization, you will buy the power at an agreed rate. And it kind of sounds exciting to a number of organizations that were prospecting at that time. We had investors that were backing us. Wow. But we hit a brick wall, actually, because if you think back 2015, there was that major forex devaluation at that time. So some of the investors who were ready to back us was like, okay, Nigeria is not exactly interesting right now.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing was that two of the clients who were speaking with them was American University of Nigeria in Yola and Citadel and Towers House on the Rock in Abuja.
Okay.
And after they seen all the pros and cons, they were like, okay, you know what? Even if you cannot bring all the investment, we still like all your proposition. We will bring our own skin to the game. Oh. And they believed in us enough to show. So in 2015, and that was why there was so much buzz when we were able to commission the 100 kilowatt project in Abuja and the one in American University in Yola, which for a lot of people was the first time they're saying that, okay, this can actually work. Mm-hmm. And in fact, my speech when the Honorable Minister of Power then, Babatunde Raji Fashola, was commissioning the project in Abuja, was focused on debunking this myth that the electron from solar is like the electron from whether generator, disco, or hydro, or whatever. It's not inferior. And as long as you have enough panel and size correctly, it will power just about anything. But since then, I mean, look at it right now, international breweries, which we did last year, they are massive consumer of electricity, 2 years ago, and their solar is integrated into their whatever. And there are other players in the industry who've gone on to do, bigger stuff. On the back of that is the Energizing education, where a number of universities have gone off-grid in Kano and Ebonyi and a few places. So I would say we were happy to, in a way, blaze the trail locally to make this a reality.
Yes, indeed. Of course, that's what makes you one of the key players and our special guest on the show today. We recognize that. And that's quite an inspiring way of going about, dealing with, especially when you have to deal with Nigerians and the myths about solar.
Definitely.
Well done.
Super. I'm going to pick up on something Collins mentioned earlier in the question he just asked you. So critics of solar still point to substandard quality of equipment as a deterrent, right?
That's right.
So we know better. We do solar.
That's right.
So Deji, but I'd like to know how you respond to that. The environment, 2015, 2019, economically, it's pretty similar. But how, in your view, how would you respond to critics of solar who say, well, we still have to deal with substandard quality of equipment?
The way I will respond to it is this. In fairness, are there substandard products in the industry? Yes, just like any other industry. But we cannot always afford to throw away the baby and the bathwater.
That's right.
What I would want the critics to see today is the stories and the success stories speaks for themselves. If you look at all the major organizations, multinationals who are already, because of their own commitment to global environmental friendliness, there is a net zero policy going around. Many are committing to 2025, some to 2030. And because of that, there is proliferation of solar integration. Just tomorrow, one of the projects that Olon partnered with us on is going live in a community in Ondo State.
Wow.
Now, this is a whole communities that have welders, that have filling stations, that have bakeries and sawmills. This community is over 90 years old. They've never been connected to national grid, where, for lack of a better word, going to be their only power generation company. And it's in fact not that it's largely from solar. It's only from solar right now. At some point when we ramp up generation, we're going to integrate with diesel. Okay. But currently, all the power that is in that community, which we're distributing over a 3-kilometer radius currently, is all from solar. And then you talk about all the filling stations that Total has switched over to solar. Currently, we have it's a number of these multinationals. I'm talking guys who are consuming as much as 6 megawatts, who are already, we had advanced conversation with them regarding solar penetration. Because not only does solar, is it green and clean and friendly, it is also that it's cheaper. I can tell any business right now that we can sell solar power to you at a cheaper rate than the disco. Once we factor in economy of scale. So
Say that again.
why do you want to
repeat that?
I said currently I can sell power to anyone from solar cheaper than the disco, cheaper than Eco Disco or Abuja Disco or anybody, any disco right now. We actually, it's not that we can do it, it's that we've done it. We have agreement signed where we're delivering power at a cheaper rate than the disco. So, and if any business is listening, you can take me up on it. And then my word is my bond. So, from an economy of scale, or rather from an economic perspective, and that's why one of our commitments is to reduce the cost or your cost to income ratio.
All right.
Because in Nigeria today, many businesses are spending as much as 30-40% of their overhead on power.
Yeah.
Now, if you compare that with what goes on in Europe, where is 8 to 9-10%, you can see why cost of production is higher in Nigeria. So if you want to improve your profitability, then let's shave off some of your energy cost. All
right, great.
And that's my...
Fantastic. Yeah. Deji, we need to go on the break quickly. When we come back, we'll have one or two more questions for you before we wrap it all up right here on the conversation, the Power Solutions, this beautiful morning. Doing this together with Adobe, and we are talking energizing with the future in mind. Ayodeji O'deji, Esquire, is the CEO of Protergia Energy. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll continue with this in just a moment. I cannot wait to ask you the next question.
Thank you.
How are we doing? What's our chemistry looking like?
Pay ID. I be the answer for your security question. I beg not give them all. All this information, them supposed they coded. You're not supposed to share them with anybody. Make you wise up. No make them scam you. This message now from Koda Microfinance Bank, the bank of the free. Make you download Kuda for Play Store or for App Store to open account. Make you start to enjoy our Wolf banking.
Feel alive, so alive. When I'm with my best friends, indulging my tea exotic. Nothing makes my drink more than when the mixer is delightful tea exotic. And after a long day, I wanna relax with the taste of my tea exotic.
Indulge and get lost in the deeply satisfying taste of the Chi Exotic range of delicious fruit blends.
Chi Exotic Nectar. I love the taste. Now available in can. Apollo, my guy. How every now?
Benjo, what is now? That is money you just to call me.
See, 9 Mobile, they give me call bonus while I finish. Now all my guys go here.
If you never recharge your 9 Mobile line for 40 days or more, recharge 200 naira and above, and we go summer you 6 times your recharge and double data bonus.
Apollo, my guy.
Benjo, see, I go block you now. I go block you now. You go see him.
Terms and conditions day. 9 Mobile.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. We're wrapping up in just a moment. I have the beautiful Adobe with me in the studio. She says she's Weber in female form. I said, that's okay. And we have been interviewing and having this chat with our guest, the one and only Odeji, if you like, Ayodeji, who has been answering the questions very, very intelligently, and also something you want to go back and listen to again, especially if you're interested in the renewable energy space. Well, guys, you can find that on our page on Facebook. It is Nigeria Info FM 99.3. Nigeria Info 99.3, I beg your pardon. Nigeria Info 99.3 FM on Facebook. There you can view our faces and also listen to what our guest has said. One more question before we go, right?
And time flies when you're having fun. So
Absolutely.
I guess I get the last question.
Mm-hmm.
Digi, can you hear us?
Absolutely.
So
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
So the Bureau of Public Enterprises recently proposed the privatization of the transmission company of Nigeria. Do you see this solving our power problems? A. And B, do you think this will create more opportunities for renewables?
I will say yes and no to both questions. Let me say it this way. The yes part is yes, theoretically it will, because in 2015, actually our very first project was signing a 1,000 megawatt joint venture agreement with Niger State government. They were supposed to bring equity for us to generate 100 megawatts from a number of locations. We started with Tegina and Kutangora then. Land was allocated, we were ready to move, but that couldn't go forward because, and for those who follow the industry, you will know that the first 14 licenses that were issued by NBET for utility scale projects has been stalled since then. Now, most of the reasons that were adduced for this is because this transmission infrastructure cannot evacuate all the load that is being generated.
Okay.
So will an upgrade in transmission benefit renewables? Oh, yes, it will, because then you can generate more.
All right.
But I also then say no, because the reality transmission infrastructure is one of those very interesting chicken and egg situation where they cannot make money by themselves. Now, the money in the power sector is made from the distribution end when you and I pay for power that we use.
Yeah.
Which we're just coming at par with cost reflective tariff. It's not quite there yet, but it's going there.
Right.
Now, both generation and transmission make money from distribution when they buy power.
All right. So
all of the business cases, yes.
Yeah, quick. Our time is really fast spent. I should have told you that we have to run now. I think we got the point. We'll definitely have to reschedule this and have some time to do this again. But we have to run to the newsroom now to take the news. But thank you so much. You've answered very well the questions we asked you today, and we look forward to a part 2 of this conversation maybe sometime soon. Right?
Thank you, Deji. Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
God bless
Adobe
you.
and Collins, thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we end this conversation straight to the newsroom. Adobe, thank you again for coming.
Thank you. I've had fun. I may just come back.
I would expect you to come back. I'm tired of seeing Weaver, just saying. But guys, let's do the news right now. When Mimo Adewin is on standby for that. In just a moment.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3